Hello everyone, welcome to this session on Tableau with me, Abdulisa Begum. Today's session is all going to be about the types of graphs that we use specifically in Tableau. So not every type of graph in statistics, but basically the ones we use in Tableau. Agenda is very simple. If you remember, I spoke about the show me section in Tableau Public or the Tableau, right? So we're going to talk about it. How does it help us? And the different types of graphs in it and what all graphs can we create in Tableau to show our reports. My name is Abidunisa Begum. I'm a technical trainer. I give trainings on R, Python, and Tableau, and data science, data analytics, and all that. So that's all about me. Let's go back to our Tableau. So this is where we ended in our last class. So what do we do here? I showed you this show me section, right? So when you click on it, it's a magical tool if you want to create your visualizations in Tableau. So here you can see these are all kind of brightened section and these are all dull graphs, right? So what does that mean? That means for the data that I have given in columns and rows here, I can create these graphs. Okay, so it could be an area chart, it could be a line that we already created, it could be a tree map, or it could be a bubble chart. So about each of them we'll be discussing in different classes, but for now, for us to understand, this is how it works, this show me section works. One more very important feature is, suppose you know that you want to create a kind of graph. Suppose you know that you want to create a pie chart, but you do not know how many dimensions or how many measures you would require. So that is again this show me section will help you. So you can see when I'm hovering through any of the chart, the values here they are changing. So here when I'm going towards this box and whisker plot, you can see it requires 0 or more dimensions and 1 or more measure. So if we have these values, we can probably create a graph. So this can only tell you that you can create such graph using these many dimensions, these many measures, but it cannot tell you, you know which of these, what of these dimensions or measures can give you the required insight that you are looking for. That you will have to understand yourself. So probably one session I'll be going to do about how to read your graphs and how to gain insights or what kind of measures and dimensions should we choose to probably create an insightful chart. So you have got your data and you have got your questions. But what's the best way to visualize that data to get the answers you need? Transforming data into an effective visualization or dashboard is the first step towards making your data make an impact. That's about it. Now, if you know about Henry D, he's the creator of periodic table of elements. So he said there is a magic in graphs. The profile of a curve, it reveals in a flash of a situation. What does it reveal? It reveals the life history of an epidemic, a panic, or an era of prosperity. The curve informs the mind, awakens the imagination, and convinces it. So I'm sure you all know that our mind is able to understand the pictorial representation better than the textual representation, right? So you can see dimensions and measures here. You were also able to see the data source here, but does this give you more information or does this chart give you more information? I'm sure your answer is this chart because that is. So that is what we're going to learn about. I'm going to tell you about few of the charts in here and then we're going to, learn about them, each of them individually. So now what is a bar chart? I'm sure you know what is a bar chart. It is one of the most common data visualization and you can use them, to quickly compare data across categories, highlight differences, show trends and outliers, and reveal historical highs and lows at a glance. Bar charts, they are, especially effective when you have data that can be split into multiple categories. That's about it. Then we have line charts. So this is the line chart that we created. The line chart or line graph, it connects several distinct data points and it presents them as one continuous evolution like it did here. This is basically a line chart. So you can use line charts to view trends in data usually over time, like stock price changing over 5 years or website page view for a month. The result is a simple, straightforward way to visualize changes in one value relative to another. Then in a pie chart, what do you do? I hope you know what a pie chart looks like. With the data that I have given it, it gives me, the pie chart as well. So I'll tell you how to modify these and all, but just to show you How does a pie chart look like? So pie chart is a very powerful visualization for adding details. Alone, a pie chart doesn't give the viewer a way, to quickly and accurately compare information. And since the viewer has to create a context on their own, key points from the data, from your data are missed. So instead of making a pie chart to focus the focus of your dashboard, we can try using them drill down on other visualizations. Basically, type pie chart we can use for, comparing different values, the percentage of different values. Then you have maps. Can you see these map here? Geographical maps. Maps are no-brainer for visualizing any kind of location information, whether it's postal codes, state abbreviations, country names, or your own custom geocoding. Now, if you have geographic information associated with your data, maps are a simple and compelling way to show how location correlates with trends in your data. There are different density maps as well. What are density maps? You can see heat maps. These are density maps as well. They reveal patterns or relative concentrations that might otherwise be hidden due to an overlapping mark on a map. Now, helping you identify locations with a greater or fewer numbers of data points, density maps are most effective when working with a data set or containing many data points in a small geographic area. We also have scatter plot. I'm sure you know about them as well. Scatter plots are a very effective way to investigate the relationship between different variables. You can show which variable is a good predictor of the other, and if probably they tend to change independently. That's what you get to know using a scatter plot. It presents also it presents a lot of what do you say distinct data points on a single chart. The chart can be enhanced with analytics like cluster analysis or also trend lines. Now, what else do we know? Yes, what do you know about Gantt charts? Gantt charts, they display a project schedule or show changes in activity over time. A Gantt chart shows steps that need to be completed before others can begin, along with the resource allocation. Then we have our bubble charts. This is how the bubble charts look like. Okay. Now, although bubbles aren't technically their own type of visualization, using them as a technique, it adds details to scatter plots or maps to show the relationship between three or more measures. Varying the size and color of circles, it creates visually compelling charts that presents large volumes of data at once. Then we have tree maps. I do not know if you have heard about them, but this is how a tree map looks like. Tree maps, they relate to different segments of your data to the whole. As the name of the chart suggests, each rectangle in a tree map is subdivided. What is it divided into? Smaller rectangles or sub branches based on its proportion to the whole. So they make efficient use of space to show percent total of each category. Did I tell you all about what are the charts that I told you? Let's just do a recap. If you want, you might as well write these down. We did bar charts, line chart, pie chart, geographic maps, density map, scatter plot, Gantt chart, bubble chart, and tree map. There are some left still. We have histogram and we have box and whisker, and I think we still have these bullet graphs left. So and highlight tables or cross tabs. Now I have given you one homework already. That is to download Tableau Desktop and Tableau Public and tell me the differences between them because Tableau Desktop has a 14-day free trial. You'll be able to use it for the first time. So that is one thing that you need to do. And the second part is you're going to write down about all the different types of charts. I've told you about a few, the very important ones. Maybe some of them you might have not even known about. But if you know, that's really good. And if you do not know, if you still have to revise, just revise them. If you want to write down about each of them. But about the differences between Tableau Desktop and Tableau Public, you will write down in the comment section. The remaining, the graphs and all, you're just going to do it for yourself and just keep it as a homework. So that's all about today. We're going in the next session, probably we're going to go through the different types of graphs in detail, and I'll show you how to create them in Tableau. And we will also go through different um, calculations that you can do, different modifications that you can do using Tableau. Thank you very much for being with me throughout this session. I hope you were able to learn something. Goodbye till the next session and happy learning.